Welcome back to the channel, Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're doing another of our Christmas box breakdowns. Today we're taking a look at the Thousand Sons Court of the Crimson King. And this is for Warhammer 40,000, Thousand Sons, and this box includes 1 Magnus the Red, 3 Exalted Sorcerers, 10 Rubric Marines, and another 10 Rubric Marines. And if you haven't checked out the full breakdown for the value that comes in all the box sets for 40k, I'll put a link up in the top right corner, and then also for Sigmar as well as similar box breakdowns to this. In this video, we're not going to focus on the price. We're going to look at army composition. Would this be a good jumping off point for a new army? Would it pair well with another one or with a combat patrol? And then what would I add in if I wanted to expand out into a full army? So let's take a closer look. Alright, so here are the box components. So first we have Magnus the Red. He is excellent. A Lord of War and the Supreme Commander of the Thousand Sons. Anytime you're taking a Primarch or a Demon Primarch, they're going to be extremely powerful. Just so happens Magnus is basically the most powerful sorcerer in the game, and his regular stats for just fighting are pretty freaking good too, being a Primarch. So at 420 points, he's going to draw a lot of fire, but he is very, very strong and definitely a centerpiece for any Thousand Sons army. And then next we have the Exalted Sorcerers. So these come in a pack of 3. We see 1 in the bottom right corner, 1 in the bottom kind of central, and then 1 in the top left hand corner. And one of them is on a disc, the other 2 are on foot. They're pretty cool. You have the option to build the 3 of them any ways you want, but you only include 1 disc option. You also have option for some pistols or combat weapons, and then some command upgrade options as well. You're probably not going to take all 3 of these guys in just about any army you play, but it's definitely nice to have 1 on disc and maybe 1 on foot as well, or a couple on foot, etc. So you have the ability to basically take, they're 100 points each with no upgrades. You could stretch it out to 415 points if you did full upgrades on everything, but realistically, probably 1 or 2 of these guys is going to be enough for you. And then next we have 10 Rubric Marines and 10 more Rubric Marines. Each set of 10, just base as they come, is 210 points. You get the option to take a Soul Reaper cannon. It's pretty good. I would definitely take it for 10 points. And then also you had the option to replace their bolter weapons with flamer weapons instead, which it's 3 points per model. So for 10, it's 30 extra points. They are really good. The bolters are really good too, but basically what it comes down to, the bolter profile is rapid fire. It's strength 4 minus 2 AP. And the Warp Flamer profile is just a D6 hits, strength 4 minus 2 AP. So for the 3 extra points, they can dish out substantially more damage. As your average guy is going to have 2 shots and, potentially hit with, roughly 1.5 of those. As where the Warp Flamer is going to average out of that D6 like 3.5 hits right off the bat. So substantially more damage output, a little less range, a little more expensive, but a cool option nonetheless. So all that together comes out to a total points of 1,140 on the minimum side to 1,319. Again, you could probably trim another 100 or so points out of the low end of that because, again, you're probably not going to be taking all of those Exalted Sorcerers. But 1140 to 1319, you could easily trim that down into a 1,000-point game. Magnus in a 1,000-point game is kind of stretching it because he's just such a beast. A lot of armies wouldn't be able to kill him, but it's not unrealistic. It's definitely viable. Make sure it's a friendly game. Make sure your opponent knows you're coming with him. But then from there, that's going to be 1 Supreme Command detachment for Magnus himself, and then 1 patrol. So you have 1 Lord of War, 3 HQs, and 2 troops. So you know that you need just 1 more troop to take a battalion detachment, and that opens up a ton of stuff. Would I buy multiple boxes of this? The answer is no. Again, you're probably never going to take 3 Exalted Sorcerers. Maybe you will, but you're definitely not going to need 6 of them, and you can't take 2 Magnus. So basically, you'd be buying a second box set just to get more Rubric Marines, and you can just buy the Rubric Marines. So it's really not worth it. The majority of the box set is composed of items you don't want 2 of. So multiple boxes, definitely not, in my opinion. Next, we have the Combat Patrol. So Combat Patrol, I'm going to say yes on that one. So let's jump over and take a look at the Combat Patrol. Alright, so here's our Thousand Sons Combat Patrol. And this is going to include 1 of the Infernal Masters, 5 of these Scarab Occult Terminators, and 20 Zangors with upgrade sprues. And this set comes out to a total of 430 to 490 points. It's a pretty decent set right here, coupled with the box set. On its own, this isn't the best because it's missing the Rubric Marines, but with the box set having 20 Rubric Marines, this set is honestly perfect to go alongside it because it unlocks a lot of the issues with this set. So for instance, right off the bat, one of the main rules for 1000 Suns is you can't have more units of Bray, which are what the Zangors are, than you have units of like actual 1000 Suns, either Occult Terminators or Rubric Marines. So now you have 20 Zangors and you can't even break them into 2 squads of 10. So you have to take this as 1 HQ, 1 elite squad of Terminators, 20 man squad of Zangors. But if you couple it with the box set, now we have 20 Rubric Marines, so 2 squads of 10. So now we have the ability to have 3 squads of Zangors without any issue because we have 2 Rubrics and 1 Scarab Occult. So now we can take 10 and 10 for the Zangors. So now we have some cheap troops that can just hold objectives, or we can send out to sacrifice if we have to, etc. It really fills the gap. So these two sets perfectly complement each other. I have to say it's phenomenally done. Very, very nice setup. The Infernal Master is pretty good. The Scarab Occult Terminators are phenomenal. You're probably going to want at least 5 more of those. And then again, the Zangors really fill out the army set. So I have to say Combat Patrol alongside this, yes, it's absolutely awesome and they're perfect for each other. I have to give it to Games Workshop. The Combat Patrols and the army boxes really complement each other. So if you already have the Combat Patrol, this box set is made for you. If you are thinking about getting this, the next step is probably going to be the Combat Patrol for you as well. So that being said, if we combine the two sets together on the minimum side, if we took everything, just the minimum points for everything we have included, it's going to be 1,575 points. So easily 1,500 points with the two combined. On the bigger side, we could go up to 1,809 points. And now we would have a Supreme Command detachment and a battalion and a really, really nice sized army. And then from there, if we were going to add on to the army, if we were going to expand it out, keeping it a little more on the fun side, but also competitive, I would go with Ahriman possibly. He's a very, very powerful sorcerer as well. He's on disc, definitely a beast. I would go with some Flamers of Tzeentch. They are very, very strong right now, and you can pair them in. You could alternatively or additionally do like a couple Knights or something like that. Some of the Armigers or something like that, the War Dogs if you wanted, to kind of like soup it up a little bit. But the Flamers are really, really strong right now. And then finally, automatically, for sure, I would want at least 5 more Scarab Occult Terminators. If you have a brick of 10 Scarab Occult Terminators, between your psychic powers making them extremely durable and their armor and everything already, and then on top of that, you have the ability to be resurrecting them as well at like 40 points plus per model. You're basically just getting like 40 to 80 free points per turn. And if your opponent ignores them, they're just going to lock down a key part of the board. So very, very strong. I would definitely recommend 10 Terminators. I think when it's all said and done, this is a really, really nice box. I love how well it goes on with the Combat Patrol. You guys know in the past, I have not been the highest on the Combat Patrol for 1000 Suns because there was just way too much Zangors in it. This really solves that problem. This really solves the problem. Having the extra Rubric Marines is key. Magnus is absolutely awesome. Everybody's going to want that. If you have a 1000 Suns army, even if you're not going to take him in every game you play, he's definitely an amazing centerpiece. Really like this army. Definitely recommend it, and definitely looking forward to this one. So let me know what you think. Did I miss anything? Do you have any other questions, suggestions, or recommendations? If you haven't checked out some of the other box breakdowns we did, highly recommend you have a look at those. If you do appreciate these, if you found some value in them, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, we do put out daily videos, reactions, reviews, and news for Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team, Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, and Warcry, Little Horse Heresy. And also, there's tons and tons of tutorials for painting, magnetization, and customization as well. That's it for today, Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and that is our Court of the Crimson King 1000 Suns Christmas Box Breakdown. And I'm out of here.